Hey guys, what's up? So I'm back with another episode of Let's Code series. So today we are going to learn more about Python generators. Last time we have seen how to actually use the Python as a iterable object, and so today we are going to see how we can do more with the Python 3 generators. Um, so let's get started. Okay, so last time we have seen how to use the iterable object, right? If we remember, this is a Python generators file where we have seen how to do the iterable objects. I mean, use Python generators as iterable object. Now, what we are going to do today is we are going to use the yield method that is actually you know uh, used with Python. So let's get started. So first I will write the shipping line. So I forgot to do that, bin and then Python 3. So does that make sense? Yes, we have been using it from a long time. So now what I'm going to say, going to make or basically I'm going to make a method, right? And then what we are going to do is uh, we are going to see how we can use the yield and all here, right? So I will let you know what yield actually does. So if I'd say generator underscore iter item, so this is something like this. I'm just saying this generator item is a method that I want to use, and I will say yield. So and I will say x y z, just just a value that I put, and then I will say yield. I'll say zyx, right? And then I will say yield. I'm just adding multiple yields, right? And I will say just I want to use a particular numbers. I will say 200, and I will just use another float, right? Yield 20.0.10, right? So here we have three functions, right? So this is a generator, right? So now I want to iterate through this particular generator. So I will say for I in generator underscore iter, and I will say this, right? I'm just looping through this, and I'm going to do something like this, and I will say print then value of I. Now let's see how what results would it will give us. So now if I say Python 3 uh, Python generators dot 2.py, and so if I'll do hit enter, it will say xyz zyx and 20.0.1 yield function or yield keyword. Any function with a yield keyword, yield basically is a keyword, and so that actually becomes a generator. So what happens whenever you are making a Python program, it actually starts execution from the first line and continues until we get a return, right? Whatever written statements executions. And but in case of um, any of the local variables that we are creating during the function scope, they get destroyed, right, and not accessible further. But when you make it as a generator using a yield, you are making basically you're making it to hold to that particular thing. Then it will not get destroyed basically, right? And it actually freezes the functions over there. So that's how a generator actually works. So we have seen the next function earlier, right? So how we will just see again how actually the yield works. Now I'm going to show you how to how to actually use this next thing which we have used earlier, but in this case I will show you again. So what I will do is quickly I will say Python 3, and I will go to the Python into Python I will go to Python command prompt, and I will say def. I'm using the same generator, iter underscore iter. I can also use something like make it like a method, a module, and then use it. But it's a very small program, so we just type it out, and I will say xyz, and then I will say ask it to yield 200, right? And then I will ask it to yield 20. Yield 20.0. Okay, and now what I wanted to do is I just wanted to do something like I will use something a variable g equals to, right, and I will say generator item, right. This is the set. Now if I type g says g is generator object. Now if I want to do g dot underscore next underscore and then hit this, and then if I did this, right, so it goes to over there, and then when I hit the last one it says stop iteration, because it's the end of the iteration items. There are no more items in the iteration. Let's make a quick program over here. I'm just commenting it out. I will give this file so you can guys can reference to it, and I will say quick number program, something sort of this, right. And so what I will do, I will say square of 200 123 123, right, 200,000 200,000, right. And now I will say num underscore list equals to, I will say range of some 1, and then I will say n plus 1. What I'm doing here is I'm actually square of 1 to n number, right. And now what I will do, so it should not be n, a square number, so whatever comes in a square it will just put the range, right. And then I will say for I in number, there's no num list, so I in the num list, and sorry, there is no number list, it's num list, and then I will say print, so I would say I into I, which is here, coming from here, right. And then I will say control D, stop, and then I will do Python generator. So it will go to up to the iterations where, goes beyond the lines. Keep going until unless there is a number, right. It will never, it will stop only when the iterations are done, right. So it will just keep multiplying, right. So this is the way you can actually do print square numbers of n number up to n number. So here it is, we have the square up till 400,000. I have put 200,000, and this was the last iteration, so this is the value that comes at the last. So if you want to generate some sort of random number, you can do it. Now this is the way we do it here, right. Now what do you think how I will do it in the way in case of generators? So if we want to create a generator out of this, what I will do, I will just say def square underscore generator. It will generate a square for me, and I will put a value of a square, a number that I will give you, and I will say num value equals to 1. That is what I want to set to, and then I will say while true, right, while it's true, what to yield, it will yield the value of num, right, which is 1 in my case. And then if num is equals to not equals, it's n, so what you should do, we should return, right, else should not be n is nowhere, so I will just say num is equals to square, it will return this. And then when you have num equals to, when we have else, I will say num plus equals to 1. Okay, so this is how it looks, and then we will do something like for I in sq generated of, I'm providing a number, so I will say I will just keep it less than 10,000 because it goes very far and I have to cut it off at the end. And so I will say print I into I multiplied by I, right. So this should be value that I get. I can use with the sum also, but let's do this, right. And if I say this, well, it just goes to it just goes up to 10,000 and just doubles it. It makes a square out of it, right. If I'll do something an odd number, maybe I will do 2,580, and then I'll run it. It should give me the proper answer, right. So if you want to square it up, it will just give you something. So we can check our answer actually, Python 3, and I will say 2580 into 2580, right? The answer is correct. So this is basically how you actually create you know this is basically how you actually do the generators with a yield keyword. So this is the best way to actually make sure that you are using this, and you can use it anywhere down the line. If you want to use this particular method somewhere else, you just want to have generators and pass the generator over here in a separate manner, you can do so. So this is so that's all for today, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. And if you did enjoy uh, the video, please like, subscribe, and share. So I will see you next time. Till then, goodbye.